In the Northland, when we talk about early season walleye fishing, what we're really talking about are walleye fishing opportunities prior to the official season opening date in your state. The walleye opener in my home state of Minnesota is mid-May, and prior to that, walleye fishing is pretty limited. The Rainy River on the Canadian border is one option, but it's no secret and can be very crowded. The Missouri River in North Dakota is another opportunity, and the bite can be really good on smaller fish. But an often overlooked early season walleye option that offers fast action on truly trophy fish is just a few hours to the east. The Bay of Green Bay is a walleye factory that from late March on is a walleye fishing destination that should not be overlooked.
Gotta start somewhere.
A year ago, my friends Mike and Steve Malmberg and myself were here exploring the east side of Green Bay, specifically the Sturgeon Bay area, and the results were truly epic.
That's one of the biggest walleyes I've ever caught. No question about it. Heavy, big fish.
This year, we're on the west side of the bay, where the moving water of several inflowing rivers, like the Menominee on the Wisconsin-Michigan border and the Oconto just to the south, are the key to locating walleyes. Shortly after ice out, huge numbers of walleyes migrate from open water wintering areas to the warmer moving water of these rivers to spawn. After spawning, they slowly move back to the lake but will stay close to the warmer water of the river mouth to feed and recover. We start our hunt in the river itself, vertically jigging or casting reaction baits like a jig and paddletail plastic, or a lipless crankbait like a Rapala Rip and Wrap, along current seams where walleyes pause to feed.
It's a good spring, Marinette, Wisconsin walleye right there. Good one. On that rattle trap, man, and I'm telling you, those lipless crankbaits, they catch fish everywhere at all seasons.
After contacting a handful of nice fish in the river itself, we move out to the big water and the huge sand flats not far from the river mouth. Here, guide Brock Bogatz puts his electronics to work, looking for pods of active fish.
Side imaging out here is probably the most important factor to catching fish and finding fish. I mean, anywhere out here on the bay, I mean, it's such a big body of water, especially this time of year when we're trying to find pods of walleyes just on a sand flat. Being able to set and cover, 100 feet off either side of the boat and see where those pods of fish are is an absolute game changer. Without it, I mean, you're basically fishing blind out here if you don't have side imaging. So this is all the smooth sand that we're looking at, and you can see right here is a pretty perfect example of what a fish looks like. You got the little arc right there, and then the shadow it casts right below it. So that fish is probably about a foot off bottom from that separation there, from the arc to the shadow. But all you're looking for out here is just shadows of the fish. I mean, that could be a little something like a wheat perch or something. You see a couple little shadows, but you just kind of see stuff scattered throughout here. There's a couple fish right there. You can see that arc of the shadow.
Then that's 50, 60 feet to the right of us.
Yeah, it'd be about 50, 60 feet to the right.
Long casts and a precise snap and fall retrieve are the key here. Walleyes will often follow a bait for a long time before biting, so consistency in your jigging stroke is vitally important.
How early do you guys start doing this out here in the springtime?
I mean, every year is different. It all depends on when we get ice out, but as soon as there's open water, we're going to be out here chasing them. And that's when you're going to get the really big fat ones as soon as that ice comes off. I mean, it's cold, but
yeah,
that's when you're going to get those really, really big fat girls. But yeah, I mean, I'd say on an average year, like last week of March is typically when we're going to start messing around out here.
That in-between time, from the close of the ice fishing season to the open water walleye opener, can be a long wait for die-hard walleye anglers. But it doesn't have to be. When walleye factories like mighty Green Bay are just a short drive away, and from late March on, could easily give you one of the best walleye fishing excursions of the whole year in our Northland outdoors.